this game to victory. Neon, they have something to say about it, and we are going to get into it. Game number 2. A 5-man smoke to get started on both sides of things as per normal.
Yeah, just running towards mid, get some forward wards. Again, I'm keen to see whether or not these wards are going to be prioritizing to watch for lane swaps. If that is something either side considers. Like, with a clump up, it's hard to read whether or not Fortune Soul will want to head up top or down bot, although it does look like he is leaning towards the top lane, perhaps. Kind of hanging around on the left side of the lane. So maybe they are going for that lane switch out on Neon, because Viper, you will not enjoy being up against a Viper. You do have a good forward ward from Polaris, so they are watching for potential lane swaps a little bit better. They can see if someone's walking away from the lane. They are watching both sides actually really well, just looking out for any walking across. Nothing to watch mid. Whereas in comparison, Neon still has that one mid ward, so when it comes down to running across the map, Polaris will be able to see that a lot earlier and adjust accordingly.
I think we just saw a sign as well that AU is very confident with his draft, John. He hasn't voice lined very much at all. He's quite stoic, the man, but I feel like for the first time we're seeing him actually spam some voice lines, so maybe kind of indicating he's very confident with what he's drafted. Neon, very, very silent on their own end of things, as they are going to go for their bounty runes. We'll see if they can actually get 2 this time, or they're going to be left with 1 again. AU, not going to bother trying. It's still going to be a 3-for-1, but this time, no, it is a 2-for-2. Never mind, it is a 2-for-2 trade, a much more even start. So Neon at least will be on even grounds to get this game number 2 started. So we are going to see Say chasing down AU. But this is the important part. Musical lanes have begun. Let's see how long this goes on for.
Yeah, running up top with Enryun. Well, they will get the D ward on the forward vision, so you are a little bit behind on Polaris when it comes to swapping out. Force is still standing up top, and they should be able to see Fortune Soul work his way down soon, holding on to those TPs. So it looks like you will kind of get away with it here on Neon's end for now. Down mid, of course, Lelouch up against Avatar mode on his Ember. This is something Avatar mode has performed on really well. Like, his Ember is one of his stable heroes on the mid. Lelouch, we haven't quite seen as much Visage out from him. I'm sure he has played it quite a few times, but in lane, it does feel like you have a much better time as Ember. There's not much to be scared of from the Visage. Grave Chill is annoying. I think the best Lelouch can hope for is actually just Grave Chill and Gravekeeper's Cloak and just try to tank through and farm as best as he can.
Yeah, it should be a pretty strong lane here for Avatar mode. I do agree with you on that, John. What about the bot lane? How's that going? Say's going to be there with Fortune Soul against Natsumi and Xavius. You already kind of spoke about this, but it doesn't seem like Force is going to bother trying to switch lanes here because he doesn't have the TP advantage anymore. He'll just stay at the top lane and try to abuse the Viper timing later on against this Bristleback. Of course, that inbuilt break always going to be nice anyway, but the bot lane for now, John, with Natsumi, Xavius against Say and Fortune Soul on the Bristle, how is this lane supposed to go?
It can be a lot more aggressive on Polaris if you land a good set of decays out. Once you have, say, level 2 or level 3 up in Fortune Soul, a couple of quilts up, these heroes melt. So you do have to play and err on the side of caution here for Polaris, but down the line as well, once you've got some levels in Sidekick, Natsumi can trade fairly well. He can actually damage quite nicely, and Se does have the 3 mangoes, so he really is spamming everything he has, but they're not able to really capitalize on it. And once he's out of regen, the presence of the Undying, it shoots down by a huge margin.
Yeah. What about the top lane? Force and AU going to be there against Playhard and Enryu. There was an attempt at Force's life. They tried to go for a Fissure block to try and get some more damage off with the Swarm. Sadly, they did not get the Fissure block on the right side, so Force was able to walk out. I suppose with the Weaver being in that off-lane role here against the Viper, you're not too worried about being bullied out by Force on the Viper at all.
No, you've got a lot of leeway, and we are seeing that reflect across Neon because they went out in these lane swaps. They are winning every lane, even a mid. Again, there's not much a Visage does up against the Ember to stop that. So it looked like Polaris are just accepting that their lanes are really just not going to be as good as you'd want it to. And it kind of came out the same way last time, except Natsumi was farming a lot better. But Neon did have that stronger early start, and maybe Polaris is just more confident in what they have later on in the game.
And there's that mid lane first blood coming out. Avatar mode able to find a solo pick-off on the Ember. Of course, we know Avatar mode loves this Ember Spirit. Probably one of his best heroes that we've watched him play. He does take the solo pick off against the Visage, and that's a real darn strong start here for Neon.
It's a great way to set a tone for this game here for Neon. Lelouch just doesn't have the best lane matchup up against an Ember. Like, there's not much play. You can defend yourself now with a Gravekeeper's Cloak, and it does take a while for Avatar Mode to kind of whittle away at that. So you are very well protected from the Sleight of Fist spam, but you can't be offensive. And as long as Avatar Mode's free to clear out the creep waves, he does get a lot more, as wave clear for Visage is pretty slow.
Certainly is. Not the funnest time is Natsumi now. Bottom lane, they do finally get saved. There was a big chase going on for the Undying, and eventually it does pay off. So Natsumi will be very happy to take his first kill of the game on the Luna. Never wanted to give any extra bonus gold away to a hero like Luna, who is naturally going to snowball out of control once she hits the jungle.
Just going to have a lot of flash farm in hand. In fact, for both sides, you kind of have that great farming opportunity. And Fortune Soul can easily clear out as well with his back. Though there's no real stack opportunities presenting itself. Like, because of the aggression up top, because of the damage that Force can pump out, play hard, he's just constantly forced away. And he still needs to soak before he can go into the jungle. So that the resource allocation isn't quite there. Same goes for Polaris. You know, we're not seeing priority on early stacks because of how tight these lanes are. And that's something both sides will have to watch out for as we maybe approach towards the 10-minute mark, is around the time you'd want to get at least a couple of double stacks up so these cores can really build up.
At least for now though, Neon. Top CS. Avatar Mode, Fortune Soul. We'll keep going. Top lane, bit of a jump. Force, Fisher block is there. This is an opening for the Viper. Enryu though dropping quite low himself, and Force wants to go for a chase, play hard. Still trying, but Force, he had the stick charges. So he'll survive, and now Enryu, well, he'll have Sakuchi, so he'll be able to make his way out if he needs to. But Force does get away with the kill against the Earthshaker.
Man, that's a great find for Force. Again, lane was a little bit slower, but he's starting to kick into gear, and they've managed to slow down Enryu. 13-6 now on the Weaver, compared to 32-16 for Force. He's just had control of the Slinger group in mid, though.
Yeah, Lelouch again going to be targeted. Nice rotation from Say with the Tombstone, and even play hard just to make sure Lelouch does not have the game he's looking for on this Visage. And it's so important slowing down this Visage. I mean, you talked about the timings, but you really want to just shut down this Matt. Don't allow him to get that level advantage or the farm advantage. And that'll naturally slow down the pace of what the lineup of Polaris is meant to be doing.
And they're also just hard committing onto the objectives early on as well. I mean, this lineup isn't the best pushing, but they just see this opportunity. They group up with a siege creep, and they get a lot of damage done. If they lose this mid too early on, I mean, the farm for Natsumi gets cut off, and it will fall. That's can't massive. Actually make a play happen. Neon, they've already got forward wards to watch the Ancient stacking. They can just kind of dip in if anything is being built up, steal it away. Lelouch 2 level behind on Avatar Mode. I mean, that is not good news. The Visage, it's a snowball-based hero. It needs some fast timings, especially as a core. It's just not shaping up for him in this lane matchup.
Avatar Mode's just done such a good job on the Ember. As per usual, though. Again, probably his best hero from what we've watched.
Oh, down bot.
Oh, they're onto Fortune Soul. Force, he does eventually make his way over. At least you found Xavius. So the Quill Spray's getting that job done, but it won't matter. Polaris, they'll be more than happy with that trade. The pos one of the Bristle going down. Force making his impact known down at the spot lane, and there are going to be quick rotations. Neon, they have smoked up. Avatar Mode and Play Hard both rotating, but it seems like Polaris might be aware. Problem is, Force is still showing by the tier 1 tower, but it doesn't seem like they spot him out. In the end, so Xavius is going to hand over his salve anyway.
And that's a little bit of time being wasted here from Neon's end. So they don't manage to really find anything off the back of that. They are still clumped up top here with Enryu and Se. Getting a good shove in. It's only AU around to kind of slow down with his creeps. It's just not enough. Like, the output coming out from Enryu, even without something like the Javelin, it's already pretty damn high. They are committing down bot again.
They will try. Avatar He's going to be around to try and defend, but Force is doing a hell of a lot of damage with that poison attack. Enryu now going to show up on the Weaver. So 3 heroes rotating bot to make sure Avatar mode is fine and the tier 1 tower does remain standing. I suppose that is the game plan, right? Like, do not allow these tier 1s to fall early. Do not allow Polaris to do what they want to do with this draft, which is just push down objectives.
They're doing a good job of stalling, but this is a point now where Polaris are probably happy with the stall. Considering Lelouch's slower start, he does need some space to farm up. He's getting that space out now with a couple of these large camps and with the familiars on hand. They've got a good amount of ancients stacked up as well. So the resources are there. They haven't taken care of these forward wards, but Neon hasn't been able to play off the back of them anyway. So they need to contest at some point. They might find AU up top here.
May, AU, he'll get chained up. Avatar mode again setting up for the team. Will just take the kill himself. That'll be the 3rd one of the game for the Ember already. Avatar mode remaining at the top of the net worth board, doing a brilliant job so far. That'll be a tier 1 top tower to drop. There's going to be no defense coming in.
And up against Polaris' lineup, which wants to push, I mean, it doesn't feel great to have your own towers melt this fast. They just aren't able to clump around this early timing. Aren't able to pressure just yet. They're trying down bot with Lelouch, Force, and Xavius. There's enough time for the response here, though.
Avatar, he'll show up. Xavius, he'll cop a slide of fist, and they are indeed again going to defend this bottom tier 1. You aren't really ready with that big kind of push lineup yet anyway. So they'll have to let Natsumi keep farming on the Luna. Just buy this kind of space and time for him. But Neon, they are kind of grouping up mid lane. Doesn't look like they want to go that deep anyway. Natsumi should be just fine. The other side of things, Fortune Soul still top of the net worth board himself now on the Bristleback. Working on towards the Ags, and that's going to be the massive power spike for Neon's draft. They really just want that before they get going any further for tier 2 towers. So bot lane, I wonder if they want to defend once again. The tier 1 tower already very low. They have smoked up. Play hard in Avatar mode, moving in from the mid-river. Trying to sneak up from the backside here against Polaris. They will eventually find the tier 1. It's just about what Neon can do to punish them. They are going to find Xavius, but the Hand of God is going to buy time. He does rebound out, and it seems like this time around there'll be no punishment to come against Polaris.
That's a good amount of space that Xavius buys them. They don't have that hard lockdown onto him, and just bails out in time. It's room for Natsumi to just keep farming up, Mask of Madness up, Ancient stacks being cleared out. You are still fairly happy with this game state for Neon. I mean, you're free farming Fortune Soul. Ags is only 3 parts away. They finally are running towards this vision. They have to contest these stacks.
Lelouch. We'll see Avatar mode. Doesn't want to really deal with him anymore. He's kind of got PTSD from the mid lane. So they are the same level now. Rebound in as well. Xavius will force the Rimrim back from the Ember. Xavius sticking around. They've even dropped the Tombstone, he would say. And Xavius, he might be the one to drop, but he does stick charge and keep trying to fight, as now the Echo Slam is committed, and it's just really on the familiars. Get rid of them, though. Natsumi, he gets caught. Avatar mode. He'll take a 4th pick-off.
That's a bit surprising. He popped the Mask of Madness. He didn't opt to try to clear out the Tombstone fast, and no one backed him up. He was figuring out what he wanted to do, walking in and out. The Ancients are going to be contested now by Neon. They get a lot of value out of their ward at last, and now they block off the Ancients. They got so much farm that Natsumi needs. He's so far behind on Luna, and we'll always say this with Luna. If you don't have the gold advantage, the hero just doesn't feel impactful. And you are very behind Fortune Soul at this point in the game.
That's very true, John. Polaris, maybe looking for a straggler. Do see Say they can rebound off the familiars as well, which is a nice little combo with the old Visage. It's Avatar mode. AU actually going to drop down bot side. Avatar mode trying to protect the Undying, but eventually Xavius should be able to get there thanks to the stone form of the familiars. Has dispose if he needs it. Say's just going to buy himself a bit of time, but in the end, it's going to be a support for a support trade. While that was happening, AU does go down, and AU, for the last few minutes, all he's been doing is sitting in that Radiant Triangle, just cutting the creep wave over and over again to ensure that they can't get towards that tier 2 top tower. And then that's fine. That's the way you buy time.
Yeah, and time is what they need a lot of here on Polaris' end. I mean, Natsumi just needs so many items to be really big. Lelouch, very close now to the full raid pack, which is 1 start for the Visage. Gonna have a lot more presence in the middle of these fights. But again, for the Visage as well, it does feel like you want more. You want maybe the Ag Shard, maybe the Ags as well, and just, try to push around. But it's not happening. Like, the map is still under the control of Neon. They are still in a better position where they're mid and top tier 1 standing. They've been invading really well. They've gotten some really good creative wards. Like, look at this ward right in front of the tier 2 in the tree line. It doesn't give that much vision, but it tells you when someone's walking up to the triangle, and that's still more than enough for them to keep scouting around here.
Yeah, it's very important. Very important indeed.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Neon. 2K advantage. Avatar mode. He's been the main star for the team right now. 4-0-1, really setting up everything here for Neon. See Xavier spot lane, but he will rebound out. Be just fine. Enryu showing mid, but they know they can't jump the Weaver at the moment. They just don't have the lockdown. Avatar mode still playing around in that dire triangle. He's going to back his way out, and instead Natsumi, he's going to be targeted. Echo Slam committed, Hand of God out, but Natsumi dropping too low does go down to Enryu. And the time lapse away, he is going to be just fine. They're still trying to deal with the Tombstone. They'll finally take it out, but all they're going to find so far is the Undying trade. For a position 1 Luna, that is never going to feel good.
It's a big sacrifice, and you get a lot of value now. Enryu with the early Spirit Vessel cuts off all that healing coming through from AU. Like, the Hand of God barely kept Natsumi alive. It barely gave him any HP to play with. They need to get some defensive items up on Natsumi after that Dragonlance. It does feel like maybe an instant BKB game and just play around that durability up front somehow. Neon, 3K lead up this entire time. Fortune Soul has just been farming. Ags is fully up. I mean, you're hitting your timings on Neon's end.
Down AU as well. Very, very nice pickoff again. Play hard this time to take it. Getting closer and closer to having that blink up now on the Shaker. That'll make matters even worse for Polaris. You've got to ask the question, John, like, what do Polaris do now? Like, they're so far behind on these cores. What do they do to buy space for their cores here?
Just keep stalling. They're grouping up now, which is one part of it. Then force the attention of Neon onto that clump up. And just kind of allow Natsumi to just farm somehow. Dragonlance, I believe, is up. And BKB coming in next for Natsumi. Just that instant rush. He needs the protection. And once you have that, you can clump up around your Luna and start forcing issues. You have to find that mid-tier 1 tower at some point. Sooner rather than later. I mean, to be fair, with Neon taking these kills but not managing to find objectives, you're pretty alright on Polaris' part, even though you're losing some big cores. Like, you are staying in this game. You scouting around on the rear flank. Roche kind of being poked here by Neon.
It is. Fortune Soul has the axe. It's a hard fight to take. They do break, jump in. That's a great rebound. Xavier setting up. They've got the bristle. Oh no, that's a turning point if I've ever seen one. Polaris, they might have really saved themselves in this game, number 2. They will deny Roshan away. I don't know if they can actually take it. But they're gonna try, it seems. They do force Avatar mode away from this Roshan pit, and yeah, they're giving it a crack. They're gonna try this. 20 seconds without the bristleback, no buyback. Let's see if they can get it done. And with the sidekick on the familiar, that's a lot of damage.
Goodness. 25 plus 106. That is not fair.
It's a machine gun. Fisher out, play hard, rebound is there. Avatar mode, he's okay for now. The chase is on again, but Polaris, they've won what they wanted. They need to get out. Lelouch, he gets the chain, or rather TP away. Force, he will get chained up as the Viper, but he'll look for a fight back and at least try to trade here with the Earthshaker, finding one. Can he at least find another? Avatar will be forced to remnant out. Enryu, he is going to take the Viper down. But overall, huge win for Polaris. They had no right to go after that Roshan, and somehow they get away with it.
They just find a really big pickoff. Like that rebound into the dispos with a Dendrotoxin break. We talked about the counter on the Bristle. you don't have anything defensive here on Fortune Soul. He's still working towards the BKB. Until that point, that break's always going to be a massive problem. And Xavius just works the angle perfectly. Neon, their lead just sort of disappears. It's still a 2k lead for them, but it went down from 4k, a 2k net worth swing for Polaris to play with. And that BKB is coming slowly but surely here for Natsumi. And that's the big timing. At that point, you start to wonder whether or not Bristol can really face off against that Luna once the Luna is ready to go.
Yeah, especially when you've got Force to back him up on that Viper. The break makes it very hard for the Bristleback. Lelouch, chase down, the Swarm giving vision. Familiar's getting pretty low, but are going to be able to Stoneform and be okay. But you got a glimpse, you pointed out the damage output. I think it was 25 plus 106 on one of the Familiars with the Sidekick and the Lunar Blessing. With the attack speed, they're going that quick. Everything melts. It doesn't matter what it is. Avatar mode. He'll walk away, but he's out of mana. They will not be able to close the gap. He's fine.
I mean, that attack speed bonus from Grave Chill plus the buffs plus the Lunar Blessing. It's just too much. That's without any big creeps as well from AU. No skeleton creeps, and now they'll finally start onto the objectives. 50 plus 110 without the Luna Aura. Very nice. Oh, with the Luna Aura actually, yeah. Very, very nice.
Indeed. Tier 1 tower's gone. Net worth advantage. Only down to 1k now for Neon. Double damage rune's been spotted by Force. They have smoked up on Neon. They want to try and punish someone on Polaris. They might find the Viper, but they've got to be brave and move up that high ground. Pings are there. Do they have the jump in? Force, he'll get chained up. Force staff away, juking out the Fisher. They do not lock him down. They even commit the Tombstone for this, but Force, he's still being chased down. Spirit Vessel from Enryu. He'll keep the vision up. Rebound, the turnaround, onto Fortune Soul. In comes the Eclipse from Natsumi. They're in a terrible position, Neon. The Bristleback melts. Force will finally die, but it's well worth the trade. He doesn't care. He's happy about that. Every time this Bristleback dies, it just pushes Neon a step back. They're relying on this guy to carry them the game.
And Fortune Soul keeps taking this frontline position without the BKB. It's such a massive risk. He's just not that durable up against the breaks. And that wasn't even a prolonged break coming out there, because he just managed to run away. They didn't bother with the dispose back, but they had the angle. They had the front angle there, and they just get all the damage. Now you've got the BKB up on Natsumi. He's fully recovered in this game, only 1,000 behind. And Ryu, hard target to lock down. They don't have dust here as well.
Make the jump in. And Ryu does get dusted. Disposed back. Oh, he's in big trouble now. Not that hard, apparently. They'll even respawn the Familiars just to get that added stun. They'll take him out. Another big pickoff with a setup of Xavius. That allows Xavius to be 100 gold away from his Blink Dagger now on the Marcy.
And that's big. Like, it's not as important as before with the Blink Dispose. Avatar mode? What?
Huh? He is going to remnant away. He's barely going to survive. Close call there. Very rare mistake from our Ember this game. Luck not paid for.
He stays alive for one more time, but the bot tier 2 not going to be alive anymore. Look at that. The Skellies are out.
My favorite.
We need the Skellies with the Familiars with a sidekick. We've got to see that. I need to see that, Mike. Double summoners out for AU as he loves. And these objectives, they will not last long. The push has gone full force for Polaris. 11 to 10, 2k lead up as they've found some good punishment onto Neon. And for Neon's part, they don't even have the blink on Playhard yet. He has double Windlace for some reason.
Double Windlace? I believe he's trying to build into Treads, but he's got Arcane Boots. Not Treads, excuse me, Tranquils was what I was meant to say. Okay. I think that's what he's trying to do, John.
Yeah, I can see that. Disassemble and back into Tranquils, and then maybe an Aether Lens. Could be what he wants. Right afterwards with the point booster. It looks a little bit awkward, but it's alright. Not the biggest thing in the world, but he does need that blink. That's a bigger focus point. Like one of those slots should have a blink up. Timing's a lot later here for Play Hard. We are 23 minutes in. He has not had a room. And Polaris have just managed to really execute off the back of Xavius really well. Like, he gets the jump in, he ensures his teammates are around, forces around with a break, and they just melt through Fortune Soul. Now, mind you, his BKB's done.
And Ryu, Sakuchi away, he's barely going to make it out. They don't have the damage, they missed the rebound initially, and that's going to be enough to allow the Weaver out. Surprisingly very effective with that blink already here on the Marcy. Neon now 2k behind. I mean, they're not out of this game yet, but it's around that time now where Avatar mode has to start transitioning into a more farm-heavy core. You want to see something like the BKB Ags come out now for Avatar mode to try and help out, because this Bristle is just not surviving these team fights. Maybe now with the BKB he can, at least. You can't break him with the Nether Toxin. At least temporarily. And they are going to try and smoke up and surprise reveal with this BKB. Force will break the smoke on Avatar. Sleight of Fist connects on nothing. They do see the Viper, they'll rush for him. Fisher is there, lock him down, team right behind him. Force may drop at a 4-staff, is out, but no, he's gone. Fortune Soul really trying to rush while the BKB is still going. Meanwhile, Natsumi pops the Eclipse onto the Weaver and Ryu. He is gonna melt. That's pos 3 for pos 3. Neon, BKB's over, they've got to run. They can't fight anymore, because Force brought back on the Viper. And he wants to fight. Say, caught out, rebound will lock him down. They'll at least find an Undying.
Yeah. They get the...
Watch the spot T3.
They get a way better trade, and yeah, this tier 3, it's not gonna last that long with the damage here.
Watch the familiar. Go on. Oh, it's not attacking that fast. He hasn't got the Grave Chill going yet. Never
It's
mind.
still fast enough. It's a good chunk over, what, 2 seconds, 3 seconds of hitting? Still a good amount. Decent amount.
When he gets the Grave Chill, that's when it gets really
Oh, yeah. Just machine gun down. And if only AU kept those Dark Troll Summoners. Only has a Centaur for the Sun. They still managed to clear out the mid. So only the top lane intact here for Neon to kind of defend. High ground could be under threat. Next Roche, longer timer, Mike, 2 minutes away. But Polaris now that they're going into the farm game, now that they're the ones in control, they're very happy with the farm game. Like, they are going for the Silver Edge on Natsumi, right after the Scotty. More ways to break onto that Bristle. BKB down to the 8 seconds for Fortune Soul. They're trying to invade here, though.
You got these Centaurs to just zone them out. AU, he's just going to stun them. You lose one Centaur, whatever. No worries. Enjoy your 50 gold. Scotty up now in the Luna. So even more challenging now for the Bristle to kind of tank through all this damage as Force. He could die back here. This will be a big one if Neon could find it. The Swarm's not going to make it. Play hard. Thinking about a Fisher. Does eventually throw it out. But they are very hesitant. Even with AU just nearby. He doesn't even have the Hand of God up. Just the Guardian Greaves. But it seems to be enough to force them back.
Xavius? Jeez. Plays tagged on bot up against Avatar mode. Does manage to bail out in the nick of time with a great rebound. So he buys them time. Instead of fully committing for the tier 2 top, they're forced to respond down bot. Natsumi now is a bit of a sitting duck if they see him, though.
My thrift rewarded.
He's alright for now, but they haven't spotted him out. They'll just go for the outpost instead. There's your AC up on the Visage.
Oh yeah, this is where things get ridiculous for Lelouch. He's going to be so durable. As long as his Gravekeeper's Cloak is up, get the Grave Chill off with a bonus attack speed. Yeah, these towers are not going to last long. Look at those machine gun creeps go. Those familiars are gonna get a lot done. Roche 20 seconds away here, Mikey. Key fights lined up. Neon on the low ground for this fight if it does break out.
They've got a Clayton on Enryu. That could be very, very useful in these fights. Just lock everyone down and allow Fortune Soul to get close enough to get those AoE nasal goos out. All the quill sprays, but see if it does work out for them. Roshan, get started. Well, not quite yet. They will just sit in the Roshan pit here. At least they Lelouch will. These skeletons just all across, just being very annoying from AU. Just get the vision information for your team. Granted, they do kind of get bursted down very quickly. Neon, they cannot afford to let Roshan go the other way. You let the Roshan go, you're in real deep waters.
That's really going to open up the high ground with his spacing here. They're still clumped up around their triangle. They don't quite have a smoke. I mean, they're ready with a smoke now. So if they let's see if they find it. Polaris smartly on the high ground here.
Natsumi, the closest target to them. Again, Playhard doesn't have a blink up yet. He's still 300 gold off. Lelouch gonna spawn out with the familiars. In they go. Say he melts.
Oh, jeez.
That's an Undying gone. They hold down Natsumi, but he's fine. He just holds on to his own BKB. And now you start thinking about Roshan. Problem is that the Undying cooldowns, or rather respawn timer, it's rather low. They'll go for a 5-man smoke up here, Polaris. Is it into the Roshan pit or the triangle? It seems like they want to try for the Radiant Triangle. Xavius, he's got the blink to initiate. Fortune Soul, he might get spotted. Xavius, no, the familiars, they'll do it. They'll see the bristle. Oh, and the stunt, he tried to TP. No, he didn't. He was just trying to run. The BKB's out. They've got the Marcy. A nice start. A nice Fisher. An Echo Slam. Natsumi, though, he'll turn right back around, taking down the Earthshaker. Now finding the bristle back.
God.
Oh, Fortune Soul, he's just not that tanky.
No, he
Roshan time.
Really isn't. And it's not going to take long to clear out the Rosh. You don't have the sidekick, but you really don't need it. It's just a bonus. Look how fast they rip through output alone here. Free shards coming out here as well. Fortune Soul, I mean, the bristle is just so soft, even without the break at this point. Maybe he wasn't quite turning his back. I believe it might have been counting his side damage out from the Luna, or even just full frontal damage, so he wasn't able to leverage that durability, but still. Polaris, we talked about it with this Roche Mike. High ground, it's gonna melt. The familiars are up, Lunar Blessings up. Xavius is back with sidekick. He's gonna have to run his way there though, but this is not gonna last long.
Even without the sidekick, yeah, it just melts. It just melts. Lelouch, not gonna lose the familiars very quick with the stone form. They will survive. They'll leave the tier 3 for now. They're not gonna try and rush for this. Still now with an 11k advantage. It's very similar to game 1, right? Like you were behind as Polaris, you buy some time, you hit your timings, then you just take over the game. And now it's all about just playing conservatively, farming the whole map. Don't allow Neon to farm any part of the map, and force them to come to you, unless you've got like a 50k advantage, and then you can go high ground instead.
Yeah, and they are just gonna play it safe. Again, they've learned their lesson from the last series. They play it. Taking a look at Avatar mode here, Mike, he does offer the Battle Fury. So he does just want to clear out this creep wave, clear out the army. AU builds up, allows him to take care of that objective. Well, tower just melts. 75 plus 106. And come on,
Xavius.
it's the sidekick.
Give him the sidekick. There we go.
Oh,
Off
hello.
we go. Bye-bye, tier 3 tower. See you later. Look at the racks. Bye-bye, racks. Give it another sidekick, Xavius. Go on. Give her another one. No, they're going to back off.
Oh,
Who needs a carry
No.
when you've
you
got a
don't need one.
familiar?
Yeah, just machine gun down. You know, it would be even crazier if you had the Silence the Grave. Bonus 25% damage with a sidekick off. No. Like, yeah, that sounds really fair. DD up as well for Natsumi.
Oh, cool.
So, blessed by Lord Gaben once more on this high ground. This fight, it has to be perfect for me. And they've got this blink and play hard. They've got the slam. That feels like one of their biggest shots here.
It's a nice Fisher block, at least. They found the Luna. She has Aegis up.
Look at
Xavius,
Lelouch.
Look at Lelouch. There goes the racks. Bye-bye. No fight necessary. So Xavius, let me know when sidekick's back up, eh? We'll go again. Here we go. Green tower. Bye-bye.
Jesus.
Mid racks. They're trying to defend. Look at the... This isn't fair. It's not fair, man. Look at this. They do at least get one of the familiars. Xavius, he's going to jump in. The bristle Force-staffed away will survive. Henry comes in from the side with the Gleipnir. Fisher out as well, but they just... It's like, where do you aim? Who do you aim? Playhard's gone. Lelouch will hand over the tip into Avatar mode now. He's got one remnant left. He will walk out. But tier 3 tower's gone. Into the bot racks. Give the sidekick over, would you, Xavius? We need some more damage. There we go.
Oh, God. That's disgusting.
Yeah, very good. That was without the Grave Chill, by the way, John. They can go faster, just so you're aware. In we go again. Fortune Soul trying to defend the best he can with the Bristleback, but the tier 4 towers are under siege. They're not even aiming heroes now. Enryu finally goes down. Natsumi's literally ignoring the team fight. Never mind though, he'll move back in, but no, it's back to the tier 4 towers. A man of business. There goes the tier 4. GG well played. Good luck is out from Playhard. Good sportsmanship here from Neon as the Echo Slam. Playhard, celebration Echo, but the GG's called. They will find no kills anyway. Polaris Esports. They will take this 2-0 over Neon. Another dominant series. And again, you love to see Neon being so polite with the sportsmanship. Obviously, all these players know each other very well. And even if you're not the one going to TI11, you're still always happy to see people that you're close to, go and try and achieve their dreams. And, well, Polaris, they're not there yet, but they're one step closer.